quick question or observation that I made today. If I'm wrong, if you think I'm wrong, tell me you think I'm wrong and tell me why. So we were having a discussion at work, and it's time for me to start looking for another job because they cut off. There's no overtime. There was barely any overtime. No overtime, no raise. I'm being paid well below market. I'm being paid hourly, way less than I'm supposed to be getting paid for my skill set and my experience. That being said, I stayed with the job. I accepted the job. I have my reasons, not going to go into that right now. And I said, okay, you got to weigh the pluses and the minuses when you're dealing with your employment and with your career or whatever. You have to weigh the pluses and the minuses. So, I'm at a place that's stress-free pretty much. My hours are very small, very flexible. When I say flexible, if I decide to go take off a day or two, of course I won't get paid, but they don't really trip over that. I got a backup driver, backup delivery driver. So I figured I could go somewhere else and I can make what I'm supposed to be making or more, but it's not gonna be as stress-free. I've worked, as a CDL driver for 5 years, and I've been in different environments, and I know how the game is played. So I can go someplace else and make what I'm supposed to be making, but I'm gonna be working 10 to 12 hours a day, which will pretty much cut out all work-life balance. And I'll be working on weekends sometimes. Now it's 5 days a week, no weekends, 8 hours a day. I argued for an extra hour, so it was 9 hours a day, whatever. The money is not good, but I'm able to get by, but I'm not able to do what I need to do and save, but I'm able to get by. And right now, because of my health issues, I'm like, okay, I'm okay with getting by, right? So we had a meeting today, and basically it's like, okay, the little extra 5 hours a week we were giving you, Natasha, we got to cut those out. Because it's the economy, the books, the fourth quarter, whatever it is. Like, basically, they got money for of course, the CEOs get their 6-figure bonuses, and of course, the managers get their big bonuses. But the little grunt workers and the drivers, we got to cut some, and we got to cut back on hours, pretty much. So you're not gonna get fired. We're not letting you go, but we're gonna have to take your money down even further than what it already is. So, I understood the conversation and everything. This is a company that's worth, last I checked, $37 billion. But they gotta take care of their shareholders first. Everybody gets taken care of first, but the average hardworking person that actually makes it possible for these stockholders and shareholders to make money. But that's a whole nother vlog. Anyway, so like I was saying, so I decided in that moment that was the kick I needed, the motivation I needed. I got really comfortable the past year. When I say comfortable, I've been dealing with a lot personally, and having a job that is not paying me up to par added to that stress. But at the same time, when I was offered this job, I took it. I sat on my ass for 4 months and dwindled my savings. So I take responsibility for putting myself in a hole, so that when I did start looking for work and I was offered the first job that I interviewed with, I took it instead of giving myself enough time to say, let me shop around, okay? So I did that. Now I could go back to a company that I know is gonna pay me right and good, but then I'm gonna lose work-life balance, and it's gonna be more stressful, and the hours are not written in stone. And there's things that I keep telling myself I need to do and I'm gonna do, and I need to be able to have a job to take care of the necessities, but still have enough energy and time after leaving that job to take care of my other stuff, my long-term goals, let's put it like that. So with this particular position, I can do that. I can work, not making, I don't really mind so much the fact that they only want me to work 8 hours a day. I can deal with that if you were paying me up to scale. If I was getting paid what I'm supposed to be getting paid, as far as the CDL manual goes, what I'm supposed to be making per hour, this particular company I'm with pays their employees well below scale. I'm not gonna tell y'all where I work, it's nobody's business. But if you knew where I worked and you went on the job forums like Indeed and you pulled up their company, you would see all the complaints come from horrible pay, horrible pay, horrible pay, horrible pay. Drivers, oh, they don't pay well at all. So, I'm thinking, well, I can make up for the lousy pay with overtime. Nope, can't do that either. So I have a dilemma. Call it a dilemma for lack of a better word. So start searching. I'm going to passively start to search for another position that, now I can go somewhere else right now. I can put in my 2 weeks notice and go work somewhere else that wants me to go work there. That's going to pay me a good amount of money, but I'm going to be working 12, 14 hours a day and I'm going to be busting my ass. And I'm going to have no work-life balance. But the good thing is I'll be making twice as what I'm making now. So I'll be able to, if I could physically stress, if I could deal with that type of stress on my mental and my body, then I would go do that. Go do that other job. I've done it before. Grind hard for about a year and bank, because I'll be making double what I'm making now. I can do that. Or I can take my time and actively and somewhat passively look for another job similar to what I have now, which is stress-free and I have work-life balance, but that will pay me what I'm supposed to be getting paid. That's what I think I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to bail and go work for the company that I can go back to tomorrow if I wanted to, making good money, but I know how it wore me out. That's laying cement. So that's my last resort. That's my go-to, but that's my last resort. The money's great, but again, it's good. Even grown-ass muscular men get burnt out from that position, that laying cement job. So it was really hard on me, really hard, but that's my last resort. So what I really want to say is this. So I was talking to a coworker. We were having our meeting. After the meeting, we were talking, and one of my coworkers, we were talking about different jobs and being able to ask for what you're worth based on your job skills. No one's going to pay you what you're worth, because to you, you're worth the top of the line. But I'm talking about your worth as far as your job description and your job skills and your experience. So one of my coworkers said, yeah, but you have to show them. You have to bring something to the table and show them. And immediately, that was a trap. That was for me to say something to get sucked into a conversation, a heated conversation. Things like that are triggers for me, because what I wanted to say to this person who's younger than me in life, but I wanted to say, I'm going to say it here because I didn't get a chance to say it in the office because I chose not to get into it. And the young people, the millennials know this. That's why millennials aren't working, busting their ass. They're doing internet shit, making millions. Somebody showed me some guy, some kid, some black guy, Trinidadian guy, who's a multi-millionaire. He has like 10 million YouTube subscribers. Kevin Hart goes to his house, LeBron James. This is a young guy who became the internet famous live streaming. Y'all know who he is. I forget his name. But they told me about him, and my daughter told me about him, and I'm like, what? There's money out here. And it ain't in going slaving. I'm old school, so I'm still stuck in that I gotta go to work every day. No, there's money out here. There's money to be made out here. And it's just about being who you are and doing what you love. There's money out here. Real money. Okay? But until you break into that field, or if that's what you want to do, social media field, and start making money or own your own business, whatever you want to do. I came here to say this specifically. That mentality, and this person that said this in my office is younger than me. The mentality that you got to go to a job and prove yourself to your employer, lose that shit, yo. If you ever want to have anything, take it from an OG who didn't have the internet when I was coming up, and who is just now trying to jump on a bandwagon that these millennials are on that are making money. Lose the mentality, okay? Some millennials may know this, a lot of them know this, but people that are, what's the one after millennials? The ones that are the ones in their 20s know this. Women, men and women in their 30s and 40s and upwards, they may not know this. So listen to me. Lose that mentality that you gotta go prove yourself on the job. The slave master days are over. You, especially if you have a trade or a skill set, you do not have to prove yourself. Unless you're on your own business, you have to prove yourself to your customers. But when you go, if you get hired to do a job, I started to say to this person at my job, I proved myself during the interview after I got hired. The proof is in the interview. Once I was hired I'm hired for a job. I do my job. I go above and beyond sometimes in as far as my personality, my customer service. But as far as trying to take on more than one responsibility at the job that I was assigned to do, that you will never hear Natasha do that bullshit. Because one thing I've learned in my many, many, many decades on this earth, one thing I've learned about corporations, they give a fuck about the shareholders and they give a fuck about the top people at the top, the CEOs, the CFOs, sometimes maybe the managers, maybe. But never come in as a grunt worker or worker bee and think that you have to, or come in with the mentality that you got to kiss ass and prove yourself. You're fighting a losing battle. Because when the money or the sales go down or the going gets tough and they're ready to get rid of your ass, you know what they're going to do? They're going to get rid of your ass. They're going to cut you. They're not going to think to themselves, oh, this person has kissed our ass and done 3 and 4 jobs for the price of one, so we can't let this person go, or we're going to treat this person right come bonus time. Never happens. Doesn't happen. Don't ever have, that's what I call slave mentality. I gotta show them how good of a hard worker. Hard work does not equate to success. Smart work, smart thinking equals success. No one on the face of this earth has ever become rich by hard work. If hard work was the key to success, the statistics of successful people in this world, in this country, would be flipped. It would be 98% of the world would be rich and 2% would be broke if hard work was the key to success. Busting your ass, doing jobs, being a slave, kissing your employer's ass, doing extra work when you're asked to or when you're not asked to, that never equates to success. Period. Prove me wrong. People who work hard and slave their asses off just get by. Those days are over. Millennials know it. Some people in my age group know it. I know it. You could know something and not put it into action. The key is you could know everything in the world. If you don't apply your knowledge, it's as good as not having the knowledge. My problem is, well, bitch, since you know so much, start applying it. Absolutely. Never, ever, ever. Anybody that I know and love and anybody that cares to listen to my advice, take it from me, from my experience as an OG. I'm not talking about what I heard. I'm talking about what I know. Never, ever, ever go into a job. We all have to work. And whether you're working on the internet or whether you're working in your own business or whether you work in a job, whatever you do for a living, we all need to earn money and make a living. So if you happen to be in the situation, in the category in life where you still have to actually go to a job and work, which is most of the country, which is most of the world, remember this, especially in the United States. Maybe in other third world countries, it might be different. I would say something different, but I don't live in a third world country. Here in the United States, those days of being a slave are over. Never ever go into a job with the mentality of, I gotta kiss ass to prove myself. Once you get hired on the job, you've already proved yourself because they hired you based on your skill set and your personality. You go in and you do your job to the best of your abilities and you do your job. Never go above and beyond, because going above and beyond does not equate in equal financial success. Believe it. Don't even play yourself like that. When he said that, well, you got to come in and you got to prove yourself. He's the type of person that likes to run around, you know, the warehouse and do extra and do this person's job and do that person's job and be helpful. And I love him. He's an awesome person. But that mentality is going to keep you as somebody's employee for the rest of your life. Never, ever go into a place of employment with that attitude and with that mentality that you got to kiss ass and go above and beyond to prove yourself, because they don't see that. All they see is a kiss ass. They don't see your worth. Corporations never see your worth. You're nobody. You're an ant to them. The other people at the top of the pyramid and the other CEOs that get those six-figure bonuses, they see each other's worth. The shareholders and the stockholders, they see their worth. But when it comes to the people on the ground doing the work to make the company and sustain the company, they give you a pizza party. That's an insult. They give you food, especially in the South. They'll throw you a taco party, bullshit like that. Nah, help me pay my light bill. Help me pay my rent. Give me a substantial raise, not a 50-cent raise. Put a couple dollars on it. When it's bonus time, show me how you appreciate me through bonuses, through my money. Fuck a pizza party. But you notice these big corporations, these multi-billion-dollar corporations, let's employee appreciation. Hey, here's a piece of paper. Here's a certificate. Here's a pen, bitch. Here's a sweatshirt or a cup. Here's a fucking coffee mug, bitch. You fucking kidding? But you could talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. But if you're not being about it and you're not doing anything to change your circumstances in your life, all the knowledge that I'm spouting in the world won't make a difference. I'm working on some shit. I ain't talking about it. I'm working on it. But I just came here to say that. I had to get that off my chest because I didn't want to voice it at work. Everything I just said, I was going to say it at work, but I decided a few weeks ago after getting into these political arguments about Donald Trump and the elections and politics, Spirit told me and I learned my lesson. Certain things, doesn't matter how cool you are with your friends, with your people at work, it doesn't matter how cool they are, how close you are with your co-workers. Certain things you just don't bring up and you just don't discuss at work. Work is a means to an end. You go to work to make money so that you can pay your bills. That's what it is for me. It's just a means to an end. It's not a career. I don't drive. My CDL, me being a professional driver, that's not a career. I did it as a means to an end. I got my CDL to get in, make some money, and get out to do the things that I really want to do. And when you get on a job and you're making enough and you're comfortable, you tend to get complacent. And being complacent, being comfortable enough to maintain your life by yourself, comfort is the enemy of success. Say that to yourself over and over again. Unless you're truly happy in whatever you're doing and you're comfortable, you're married, you got your job, she got her job, and he got her job. Okay, if that's your life, I ain't knocking it. But what I'm saying is, if you're like me and you know you're meant for more and you want more, keep telling yourself, because I keep doing it. I keep getting comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of success. Comfort is the biggest obstacle to success. Don't get comfortable and don't kiss nobody's ass.